Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Collections, Coin Collectors and History Enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into a truly exciting discovery in the world of rare coins, one that could be hiding in your collection right now. Yes, we're talking about the 1960 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark. This little copper coin may seem like just another common penny, but trust me when I say, it has the potential to be far more valuable than you might expect. Now, most of us are familiar with the Lincoln penny, which has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1909. The coin, designed by Victor David Brenner, features the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the reverse has changed over the years. But today, we're zeroing in on the 1960 Lincoln penny, a coin that holds a special place in the hearts of collectors and has a fascinating history. In 1960, the U.S. Mint was in the process of adjusting its production methods, and this year's coinage was no exception. While many pennies from 1960 were struck as normal, a significant number of them were produced with some unique characteristics that set them apart from the rest. These unique features are what make the 1960 Lincoln penny so special and so valuable today. To understand why this coin is so sought after, let's first look at its design. As usual, the obverse of the penny features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, our 16th president, who is remembered for leading the country through the Civil War and for his Emancipation Proclamation. On the reverse side, the 1960 penny originally had the traditional wheat ears design, which had been used on pennies since 1909. However, in 1959, the Mint switched to the Lincoln Memorial design, which was used for the reverse until 2008. This switch marks a pivotal point in American coinage history, making the 1960 penny particularly noteworthy. Now, what sets the 1960 penny apart from others? Well, one of the key factors is the minting process itself. The U.S. Mint struck a large number of 1960 Lincoln pennies, and many of them were minted at the Philadelphia Mint without any mint mark. But what collectors are really after are the coins with the D mint mark, which indicates that they were struck at the Denver Mint. However, the real rarity lies in a fascinating mistake that occurred during the production of these coins. You see, during 1960, there was a unique variation in the way these pennies were struck, which resulted in some coins being doubled. This phenomenon is known as the 1960 double die penny. The double die refers to a mistake in the striking process where the coin was pressed twice, resulting in a visible doubling of the features on the coin, particularly in the date and lettering. The 1960 double die Lincoln penny is incredibly valuable, but it's not just any 1960 penny. The coin has to show clear, noticeable doubling on the date and inscriptions, especially the word Liberty and the date itself. These coins are a true treasure for collectors because they are a rare mistake that happened during the minting process. It's not something you'll come across every day, and that rarity is what drives up the value. Aside from the double die, there are also other variations of the 1960 penny that have become desirable in the market. For example, certain coins may have errors in the strike, such as off-center strikes or misaligned dies. These mistakes often occur when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a coin that is less symmetrical or has missing details. Now, let's talk about what this means for you, especially if you have a 1960 Lincoln penny in your possession. If you have one of these coins that displays the double die or other unique characteristics, you might have a rare gem on your hands. The condition of the coin is extremely important when determining its value. Coins that are in good condition, with minimal wear and tear, are worth much more than those that have been heavily circulated or damaged. If your coin is in excellent condition, it will undoubtedly be more appealing to collectors, and you can expect to get a higher price for it. But what is the actual value of the 1960 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark or one of those sought-after double die variations? If your 1960 penny has been well preserved and shows noticeable doubling on the date or lettering, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Depending on its rarity and condition, the value of a single 1960 Lincoln penny could go for as much as $30,000. Yes, that's right, $30,000. It's hard to believe that a penny, which was originally worth just 1 cent, could now be worth such an incredible amount of money. If you happen to come across a 1960 Lincoln penny with the double die or other rare characteristics, you could be holding on to a real treasure. So, if you've got a stash of pennies, or you come across one of these 1,960 coins in your spare change, make sure to take a close look. It could be worth far more than you ever imagined. As always, it's important to consult with a professional coin appraiser if you think you've found something rare. They can help you determine its true value and guide you through the process of selling it if you wish. Today, we've got something truly exciting for all you collectors out there. We're going to take a deep dive into a particular US coin that has flown under the radar for many, but could potentially be worth a small fortune. It's the 1961 Lincoln penny, and while it might look like just another penny to most, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. If you have one of these in your collection, or perhaps sitting in your spare change jar, you could be holding on to a rare treasure that's worth far more than you thought. Now, before we talk about its value, let's look at the history and significance of the 1961 Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny, first minted in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, is one of the most iconic coins in American history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the coin features a striking portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse originally showed two stalks of wheat, representing the country's agriculture. This wheat design was replaced in 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial, and this is where our 1961 coin comes in. The 1961 Lincoln penny was struck during a time when the U.S. Mint was consistently producing large quantities of coins to meet the demand of a growing economy. While these pennies were mass-produced, there's a key feature that makes the 1961 penny so appealing to collectors: its rarity and unique characteristics, especially in top-notch condition. Over the years, most of these coins were circulated and quickly lost their pristine quality, which makes high-quality examples much more valuable today. One of the main factors that determine the value of the 1961 Lincoln penny is its condition. Like any collectible coin, the better the condition, the higher the value. Many of these pennies were used in day-to-day transactions, and as a result, they often show signs of wear and tear. Coins that were heavily circulated can have worn-down details, which reduces their overall worth. However, the real treasure lies in those coins that have been carefully preserved over the years and remain in excellent condition. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that are in mint state, or close to it, meaning they are as close to brand new as possible. If you have a 1961 Lincoln penny that looks like it was just freshly minted, it could be worth significantly more than its face value. The 1961 penny that is free of major scratches, discoloration, or damage is much rarer, and the demand for such pristine examples continues to rise. Another element that adds to the 1961 penny's value is its mint mark. Most pennies from this era were minted in large numbers at various mints, including the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Each mint mark is typically placed under the year on the reverse side of the coin, and it plays an important role in determining the rarity of the coin. Pennies from the Philadelphia Mint were struck without a mint mark, but those from Denver and San Francisco will have a D or S mint mark respectively. The rarity of certain mint marks can impact the coin's value. For instance, coins from the San Francisco Mint were often reserved for proof sets, making them rarer and more valuable in the market. If you have a 1961 penny from one of these mints, especially in excellent condition, you could be sitting on something very valuable. Another factor that makes the 1961 Lincoln penny so interesting to collectors is its historical context. The early 1960s were a time of transition in the United States, with significant economic and political changes taking place. These pennies, while seemingly just a small part of the coinage at the time, carry a piece of that history. Coins from this era are often sought after not just for their value, but also for their place in American history, making them even more attractive to collectors looking to preserve pieces of the past. Now, you might be wondering, what kind of value are we talking about when it comes to the 1961 Lincoln penny? The answer depends heavily on the coin's condition, rarity, and mint mark. If you have a 1961 penny that's in uncirculated, flawless condition, especially with the mint mark of D for Denver or S for San Francisco, it could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. In fact, well-preserved 1961 Lincoln pennies can fetch some jaw-dropping prices. If you've got an example in mint condition, it could be worth as much as $38,000. Yes, you heard that right, $38,000 for a single penny. It's almost unbelievable, but it's true. Coins like these, especially those that have been kept in pristine condition or have rare characteristics, have become highly sought after by collectors, which is why their value has risen so dramatically over the years. So, what does this mean for you? If you happen to have a 1961 Lincoln penny lying around in your collection, take a closer look. Check its condition, see if it has any unique features, and pay attention to the mint mark. You might just have a rare coin that could be worth thousands of dollars. Of course, if you do think you have a valuable 1961 penny, it's a good idea to have it appraised by a professional to get an accurate value. But it's certainly worth your time to look through your coins carefully. After all, who wouldn't want to discover a rare gem that could change their financial future? Today's topic is going to get you excited. We're talking about a coin that might be sitting right in your collection, or even your spare change jar, right now, and it could be worth far more than you might expect. That's right, we're talking about the 1966 Lincoln penny with a mint mark. You may think of this as just another penny, but trust me, there's so much more to this coin than meets the eye. So, let's start with a little background on this iconic coin. The Lincoln penny, one of the most well-known and enduring coins in the United States, was first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by artist Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the penny features the profile of Lincoln, while the reverse originally displayed 2 stalks of wheat. In 1959, the design was changed to the Lincoln Memorial, which is the design we're talking about today when it comes to the 1966 penny. Now, why is the 1966 Lincoln penny so special? On the surface, it might seem like just another piece of common currency, but when we dig a little deeper, we find that this specific penny has certain attributes that make it desirable to collectors. In fact, in top condition, the 1966 penny can be worth thousands of dollars. Let's explore why. One of the key factors that impact the value of a coin is its condition. Most pennies from 1966, like many coins, were heavily circulated, and as a result, they suffered from wear and tear over time. A coin that has been in circulation for decades can show signs of scuffing, discoloration, and damage. But the real gems, the coins that stand out from the rest, are the ones that have remained in pristine condition, those that were carefully stored or kept away from heavy use. If you happen to have a 1966 Lincoln penny in excellent or uncirculated condition, you're already starting to see its value increase. Coins that are in mint state, or as close to it as possible, are the ones that collectors desire most. The value of these coins can go up considerably, and collectors are often willing to pay top dollar for a penny in near-perfect condition. The higher the quality of the coin, the more valuable it becomes. Additionally, the 1966 Lincoln penny is part of a significant time in U.S. coinage history. In the mid-1960s, the U.S. Mint was transitioning its coinage production methods. During this period, the U.S. government was dealing with a growing coin shortage, and the use of copper in coins was under scrutiny. The 1966 penny, just like other pennies from this era, was made with a high percentage of copper, which is one of the reasons why collectors find this era particularly intriguing. Another factor that can increase the value of the 1966 Lincoln penny is its mint mark. The mint mark on a coin indicates where it was produced. The vast majority of the 1966 pennies were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which typically didn't add a mint mark to the coins. However, there were also coins struck at the Denver Mint, which feature a D mint mark, and pennies minted at the San Francisco Mint, which have an S mint mark. Coins from different mints can have different values depending on their rarity. Pennies with the D mint mark are somewhat more common, but those from the San Francisco Mint are rarer and therefore more desirable to collectors. A 1966 penny with an S mint mark is definitely a coin to watch for if you're hunting for something special in your collection. But here's the real kicker: some 1966 pennies are worth much more than others due to a fascinating error that occurred during the minting process. The error involves the double die variety. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck twice, causing the details to be slightly misaligned, creating a doubling effect on the coin's design. This error can be particularly noticeable in the word Liberty and the date itself, making it stand out from other pennies. Double die coins are some of the most sought after among collectors, and they can command a premium price. If you have a 1966 Lincoln penny with noticeable doubling, especially on the date or the word Liberty, you might have an error coin on your hands. This kind of mistake is rare, and because it's part of the history of coin production, collectors will often pay much higher prices for these types of errors. So, always take a second look at your 1966 pennies and check for signs of doubling. Now, let's talk about the big question: how much is a 1966 Lincoln penny worth? If you've got a penny from 1966 that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could be worth significantly more than the 1-cent face value. A coin that's in excellent shape, free of scratches and damage, can fetch a few $100s, especially if it has a rare mint mark or is from a smaller mintage. But here's where things get even more exciting. If you have a 1966 Lincoln penny with an error, particularly the double die error, you could be looking at a coin worth as much as $44,000. Yes, that's right, $44,000. It's hard to believe, but there are collectors out there who are willing to pay top dollar for these rare finds. So, what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1966 Lincoln penny? First, take a close look at its condition. If it's been well preserved, that's a good sign. Then, check for any mint marks, and of course, look for any signs of doubling in the design. If you suspect you've found a rare or error coin, it's always a good idea to have it appraised by a professional coin dealer or numismatist to determine its true value. Coins like the 1966 Lincoln penny show us just how fascinating and valuable the world of coin collecting can be. So, keep your eyes peeled, and you just might discover a hidden treasure in your change jar. Today, we're diving into a topic that's sure to captivate both seasoned collectors and those just beginning to explore the world of numismatics. We're talking about a rare and valuable coin that might be hiding in your collection or even your change jar right now. That's right, we're exploring the 1968 Lincoln penny, a coin that many overlook, but when you really understand its history and potential, you'll see it's worth so much more than its face value. This penny, like many others, may look like just a simple piece of currency, but today we'll show you why this coin could be worth a staggering amount. Let's start by talking about the Lincoln penny itself. First issued in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, the Lincoln penny has become one of the most iconic and well-known coins in U.S. history. Over the years, the design of the penny has changed. Originally, it featured 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse side, but in 1959, this design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial. The 1968 Lincoln penny is part of that later series with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, which makes it even more recognizable to coin enthusiasts today. Now, the 1968 Lincoln penny isn't necessarily a coin you'd expect to be worth much at first glance. After all, it was widely produced during the late 1960s, a time when the U.S. Mint was pumping out massive amounts of coins to keep up with the growing economy. But there's one thing that sets the 1968 penny apart from others: its rarity in certain conditions. The main factor that determines the value of the 1968 Lincoln penny is its condition. Like many coins, the majority of these pennies were heavily circulated. This means they were in people's pockets, spent in transactions, and often showed signs of wear and tear. Scratches, discoloration, and general signs of circulation are common on these coins, which decreases their value. However, there are certain 1968 pennies that have managed to avoid these imperfections, remaining in pristine, uncirculated condition. These well-preserved coins are far more valuable to collectors. If you happen to have a 1968 Lincoln penny that's in mint condition, you're already holding a rare find. A coin that hasn't been damaged or worn down by years of circulation can fetch a significantly higher price than one that's been used frequently. coins that have remained in excellent condition, with their details intact and no signs of wear, are much rarer and much more desirable to collectors. But the value of the 1968 Lincoln penny doesn't just depend on its condition. The mint mark plays an important role in determining its rarity and value as well. Mint marks are small letters that indicate where the coin was minted. Most pennies from the 1960s were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which doesn't add a mint mark to the coin. However, some 1968 pennies were minted at the Denver Mint, and these coins are marked with a D under the date on the reverse side. Additionally, a small number of pennies were struck at the San Francisco Mint, and these will have an S mint mark. While the Philadelphia Mint produced coins are the most common, the Denver Mint and San Francisco Mint pennies are relatively rarer, which can make them more valuable. If you come across a 1968 penny with a D or S mint mark, you might just have a coin that's worth more than you thought. But remember, just having the right mint mark isn't enough. Condition still plays a major role in determining how much your coin is worth. What truly makes the 1968 Lincoln penny stand out, however, is the potential for minting errors. While most coins are struck correctly, sometimes the minting process doesn't go as planned. For the 1968 penny, there were a few known errors that have caught the attention of collectors. One of the most notable is the double die error. This occurs when a coin is struck twice, causing the design to appear doubled. This can result in double text, such as the words, "Liberty," or "In God We Trust," which are much more noticeable when you inspect the coin closely. These double die error coins are highly sought after by collectors, and they can command a premium price. If you have a 1968 Lincoln penny with this kind of error, it could be worth much more than its face value. Double die coins are considered some of the most desirable types of error coins, and they often sell for thousands of dollars, depending on their condition. Now, let's get to the exciting part. What is the 1968 Lincoln penny worth? If you have a well-preserved, uncirculated penny from 1968, it can fetch a price well above its face value. A 1968 penny in excellent condition can be worth hundreds of dollars to the right collector. However, if you're lucky enough to have a rare double die error penny, the value can skyrocket. In some cases, a 1968 Lincoln penny with this error could be worth $50,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $50,000 for a single penny. The rarity and demand for error coins like this have driven their prices to staggering heights. So, what does this mean for you? If you're holding on to a 1968 Lincoln penny, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. Inspect the coin for signs of doubling on the design, check its mint mark, and carefully evaluate its condition. If it's in mint condition or features an error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Don't overlook this seemingly humble coin. It could turn out to be worth more than you ever imagined. If you do think you've discovered a rare or valuable 1968 Lincoln penny, it's a great idea to have it appraised by a professional numismatist to get an accurate value. They can provide you with a true assessment of the coin's worth based on its condition, rarity, and any potential errors. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare coins, and we've got a real gem to discuss: the 1981 Lincoln penny. This seemingly simple coin might not seem like much at first glance, but as we'll reveal today, it holds surprising value for collectors, and you might just be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of U.S. currency for over a century. First introduced in 1909, it has seen numerous design changes and played a pivotal role in the history of American coinage. But even within this long lineage of pennies, the 1981 Lincoln penny stands out for certain reasons that make it particularly desirable in the world of numismatics. Now, the 1981 penny was produced during a time when the U.S. Mint was cranking out millions of coins every year to meet the demands of the economy. These pennies were circulated widely and, like most coins, have been handled and spent countless times over the years. So, why is this coin so special? What sets it apart from other pennies minted during the same time? To understand the true value of the 1981 Lincoln penny, let's first take a look at its design. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, which has graced the penny since 1909. On the reverse side, you'll see the classic design with the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of the strength and unity of the United States. The design has remained unchanged for many years, making it instantly recognizable. So, while the 1981 penny may look like any other penny from the 1980s, what really gives it its value is its rarity in pristine condition. The majority of these coins were spent in everyday transactions, leading to wear and tear. Over time, this wear diminishes the coin's appeal to collectors. But finding a 1981 penny in uncirculated condition is a rare and exciting find. Coins that have been well preserved, with minimal signs of handling, are significantly more valuable than those that have been circulated. A 1981 penny in mint condition can fetch a much higher price, especially if it has been stored carefully and kept away from wear over the years. The value skyrockets for uncirculated coins that retain their sharp details and clean surfaces. Another factor to consider is the mint mark. Coins produced at different mints can have varying levels of rarity, and this is true for the 1981 Lincoln penny as well. Pennies minted at the Philadelphia Mint typically have no mint mark, while coins struck at the Denver Mint will have a D mint mark, and those from the San Francisco Mint will have an S. Most of the 1981 pennies were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, but pennies from the Denver Mint are a bit rarer, which can make them more desirable to collectors. But perhaps the most exciting aspect of the 1981 Lincoln penny is the potential for minting errors. While most pennies are struck perfectly, sometimes errors happen in the minting process, and these error coins can become incredibly valuable. The 1981 penny is no exception. Some 1981 pennies were struck with slight design flaws or other issues, such as double strikes or off-center impressions. These error coins are highly sought after by collectors because they are unique and rare. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1981 penny with an error, it could be worth significantly more than its standard counterparts. Even small mistakes during the minting process can cause a coin's value to skyrocket, especially if the error is noticeable and rare. A double die or misstruck penny from 1981 could be worth thousands of dollars. So, now let's get to the most important question. What is the value of the 1981 Lincoln penny? In its most basic form, a regular 1981 penny might not fetch more than its face value of 1 cent. However, if you have a pristine, uncirculated 1981 penny, it could be worth much more. And for those lucky enough to find a rare minting error, the value can increase dramatically. In fact, a high-quality 1981 Lincoln penny in pristine condition, or one with a minting error, can easily be worth $55,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $55,000 for a single penny. Imagine stumbling across a coin that you've had in your collection or even found in your pocket change, only to realize that it's worth more than a used car, or in some cases, even a house. The 1981 Lincoln penny may seem like an ordinary coin, but for the right collector, it could represent a real treasure. Now, if you think you've found a 1981 Lincoln penny with potential, it's a good idea to have it evaluated by a professional numismatist. They can help you determine its condition, check for any minting errors, and assess its true value in the current market. Whether you're just starting out as a coin collector or have been in the hobby for years, it's always exciting to discover something as valuable as a rare Lincoln penny. The beauty of coin collecting is that you never know when you might find the next big treasure. So, take a closer look at your collection and see if you might be holding on to a small fortune. Today, we've got something truly special to talk about, the 1972 Lincoln penny. You may have one of these pennies sitting in your collection or even in your pocket change, but did you know that it could be worth a small fortune? That's right, this seemingly simple coin has a surprising value, and in today's video, we're going to explore what makes the 1972 Lincoln penny so desirable among collectors, and how much it could be worth in top condition. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1909. It's one of the most familiar coins in American history, and it has a rich legacy tied to the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. But what about the 1972 penny specifically? At first glance, it may seem like just another year of the iconic penny, but the 1972 coin is unique for a few reasons, especially when you start diving into its condition, minting errors, and overall rarity. First, let's take a moment to appreciate the design of this coin. On the obverse side of the 1972 Lincoln penny, you'll find the well-known portrait of President Lincoln, which has remained relatively unchanged since 1909. This design, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, has become an enduring symbol of American heritage. On the reverse, you'll notice the familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial, which graced the back of the penny from 1959 until 2008. The coin's design is timeless and instantly recognizable, but there's much more to the story when it comes to its value. The 1972 Lincoln penny is especially sought after by collectors because of its interesting production history. While the U.S. Mint produced billions of these pennies in 1972, the coin wasn't entirely flawless. In fact, many 1972 pennies were struck with noticeable flaws, which only adds to their appeal among coin collectors. The most notable of these errors is the well-known double die obverse, where the lettering and date on the front of the coin appear to be doubled. This type of error occurs when the coin is struck twice, slightly offset during the second strike, which creates a unique visual effect. If you happen to have a 1972 penny with a double die error, you could be holding on to a coin that's worth far more than its face value. These error pennies are one of the most prized varieties among collectors, and their value skyrockets in comparison to a regular, unblemished penny. The presence of a double die, especially if it's clear and noticeable, can dramatically increase the coin's value. But that's not the only reason the 1972 Lincoln penny is highly coveted. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition are also in high demand. Most of the pennies produced in 1972 were used in daily transactions and have suffered from wear and tear. It's not uncommon to find a 1972 penny that's been through the ringer, dirty, scratched, and worn down from years of circulation. But if you manage to find a 1972 penny that's still in near-mint condition, it becomes a real treasure. These coins, when kept in excellent shape with sharp details and minimal surface damage, are worth far more than a typical penny. Now, let's talk about the mint marks on these pennies. Just like other U.S. coins, the 1972 penny was struck at multiple U.S. mint locations, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most of the 1972 Lincoln pennies you'll come across will not have a mint mark if they were made in Philadelphia. If you see a D mint mark, that means it was produced at the Denver Mint, and if there's an S, it was made in San Francisco. While the Philadelphia version is more common, the Denver and San Francisco Mint versions are a bit rarer, making them more desirable to collectors. So, what's the real value of the 1972 Lincoln penny? If you have one that's in perfect condition or features one of those coveted minting errors like the double die, you're looking at a coin worth far more than just 1 cent. In fact, if you have a 1972 penny in exceptional shape, or a rare error variety, you could easily see it valued at $65,000. Yes, you heard that right, $65,000 for a single penny. Can you imagine stumbling across one of these in your change jar or in a roll of pennies you've had sitting around for years? It's one of those incredible moments that coin collectors dream of. A single penny, which most people would overlook, could be worth more than the average person makes in an entire year. If you think you might have a 1972 Lincoln penny that could be worth big bucks, it's worth taking the time to carefully examine it for any signs of minting errors or pristine condition. The next step would be to have it professionally appraised by a numismatist or take it to a reputable coin dealer for a more detailed evaluation. Don't forget to check for the double die error, because if it's present, you could be holding a highly valuable piece of American history. Before you rush off to dig through your coin collection, don't forget that coin collecting is all about the thrill of discovery. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, there's always the possibility of uncovering something valuable when you least expect it. The 1972 Lincoln penny is just one example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can have extraordinary value. So, keep your eyes peeled and your hands ready to search through those old coins. You never know what treasures you might find. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos on rare and valuable coins. We've got more amazing discoveries coming your way. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!